There's one small line in an article in I think the Times today, which I've just seen, and it gives me hope about Kemi Badenoch. I can't believe I'm even saying this, because normally I'm not a Badenoch fan at all. There's a certain bleak poetry in British politics. A governing party humbled, its ideological compass scrambled, and a populist insurgency flaring up with energy of an unregulated sunbed. And yet there's an undercurrent, subtle, deliberate, perhaps finally strategic, that suggests that Kemi Badenoch may not quite drag the Conservatives into the populist wilderness, and this talk is against all instincts, therefore a hopeful one. Consider the global context. Two striking defeats have just landed on the desks of every serious strategist in Westminster. In Australia, Peter Dutton's Liberal Party, hardline, culture warrior, unbending, was not only beaten but personally unseated. In Canada, the Conservatives lost a 27-point lead chasing Trumpist populism, only to be eviscerated by a centrist liberal revival of a party that everyone else thought was over. Badenoch, therefore, is wise to have looked at this wreckage and drawn the correct conclusion that mimicry of reform is the road to ruination. Reform is not a party of government, it's a vent. It's a megaphone for rage, not a manual for administration. Farage offers no coherent economic vision, only nostalgia and noise. And if there isn't a Conservative Party to challenge it, then reform is only going to grow and grow and grow. If there isn't a Labour Party that can challenge it, reform is only going to grow and grow and grow. The Tories remain a government in waiting, battered, yes, but still expected to provide answers, and to lean into reform's aesthetic, all border bonfires and tinfoil economics, would be to surrender seriousness altogether, and Badenoch finally seems to have guessed this. In the days since the local election bloodbath, her word, Badenoch has refused the bait. She's spoken not of purging centrists or courting Farage, but of principled renewal. I don't know whether she's actually got the time to pursue this. She's said no to an electoral pact, no to knee-jerk imitation, and she's begun cautiously to sketch out a new Conservative pitch, restoring seriousness on crime, challenging Labour on online safety, and crucially, reconnecting with parts of the country that still want competence over chaos. Crucially, if she can, she needs to reach out to the One Nation Tories who feel abandoned. Her silence, of course, has been frustrating. Her restraint may in time prove wiser. Of course, she faces insurgents within, the Edward Lees of the party, full-on reform cosplay, border walls, bonfires, net zero nihilism. Others mutter about replacing her with Robert Jenrick, the man who lost one leadership election and now behaves as though he's won another. But here's the thing, Badenoch knows the Clause 4 moment could be coming. There's no centrist coalition left to manage. The party must choose serious government or flag-waving irrelevance. And in resisting Farage, she may, ironically, achieve what Cameron never could, a deliberate repositioning of the right as a post-populist, not populist party. And the ghost of Brexit, of course, haunts us, but the economic promises of global Britain have collapsed into a new kind of nationalism, one that lacks identity, industry, imagination. Reform speaks to this emptiness. But so could the Conservatives with direction. The Conservatives could lead with direction if they chose to. If Badenoch championed a more muscular nation-building, one-nation Tory centralism, infrastructure, vocational education, state capacity, she could outflank Farage and Starmer, not on volume, but on vision. The old Thatcherite Reaganite consensus is gone. The new pitch must be post-globalisation conservatism, rooted in place, in dignity, and domestic democratic renewal. And let's not forget what excited the grassroots about Badenoch to begin with, that she is a minority voice who refused progressive orthodoxy, a patriot that doesn't do saccharine. She has the potential to cut across class and cultural lines. But she must stop this pussyfooting. She must start doing serious work. She must manage her brief. She must stop being handled. The public doesn't want some sort of slogans every 5 minutes. It wants real work, it wants clarity, it wants a real person. And Badenoch could name Britain's flaws without disowning it, and that more than anything is her bridge to the centre. The centre right, survives not by echoing populists, but by absorbing their energy into a programme of reform, not reform. Kemi's opportunity is to do what Disraeli did with social reform, what Thatcher did with inflation, what Boris Johnson tried to do with Brexit: capture the chaos, tame it, and offer the nation an usable vision. And she must not just manage decline, she must now define renewal. And it's not blind optimism. Badenoch could still falter. I expect she will falter, but at least she's finally seen there's a path towards some sort of security. She may yield to backbenchers and ghosts of Brexit past. She may descend into the culture wars and disappear entirely. But in refusing to chase reform, if she's committed to that, and if she has the time to pursue that, she's already made one vital choice correctly. Only one in 6 months, but that's something. The next is to articulate a centre-right populism that is competent, constructive and culturally rooted, not theatrical, paranoid and permanently online. So that is my modest hope, that Badenoch becomes not the British Trump nor the Nigerian Thatcher, but something rarer still, a real conservative in the mould of Baldwin, Macmillan and even Merkel, unflinching, unshowy and undistracted by sideshow populism. She has some of the instincts. She may yet find the words. She has to sit down and do the work, and if she does, she may rescue the Conservative Party from itself, not by yelling louder than reform, but by offering Britain something that reform cannot offer, which is a future.